There was something unseen in that mine, and after that night shift, no one could stay silent anymore. The night shift was quiet. In a remote gold mine in Burkina Faso, workers were doing what they always did, digging through the earth, their sweat mixing with the dust. But something felt off that night. One veteran miner paused when he heard a strange metallic scraping sound. When he looked up, he caught a shadow moving behind a rock, walking too smoothly for a man, too controlled for an animal. It moved with eerie precision, mechanical, silent, calculated. By morning, rumors were spreading like wildfire. There were no humans working last night, those were robots. When the first report landed on President Ibrahim Traoré's desk, the incident was dismissed as a union scare tactic. But the second report changed everything. Satellite thermal scans from the night shift showed heat patterns that didn't match human body temperature. Stranger still, the mine's security wasn't managed by Burkina Faso, but by a private Chinese firm. Traoré closed the file and uttered a single sentence. "This isn't a mining operation. This is a testing ground." That same evening, a covert order was issued. Send a discreet surveillance team into the mine. No contact with day shift. Observation must take place during night operations only. But what no one realized was this. The robots beneath the mine weren't just digging. They were watching, recording, calculating. So what exactly were they tracking? Searching for gold, or studying the people above it. Traoré's covert surveillance team infiltrated the mine dressed in plain clothes. On the first night, everything seemed normal. But at exactly 2:47 a.m. on the second night, the cameras picked up something unusual, a figure moving like a human, but without acknowledging greetings, taking breaks, or showing awareness. It held a sensor, scanning rocks, and then inserted a data chip into its belt. It didn't flinch at lights, it didn't respond to voices, and when someone approached, it vanished. The observer who witnessed it wrote a single sentence in their report: "It didn't see me because it didn't recognize me. I'm human." That was not. The next morning, analysts noticed something hidden in the security footage, a lower-level structure deep inside the mine. This area didn't appear on any official maps. More disturbingly, every entry and exit point was managed by Chinese technicians. No signs, no logs, only a card reader and surveillance cameras. This time, Traoré didn't call the press. He called his military strategy advisors. He laid one sentence on the table. If these workers aren't on the payroll, yet their tasks are complete, then either they're imaginary or engineered by a different kind of mind. On the third night, the team tried to descend deeper, but the radios went dead. Signals scrambled. Silence took over. What operated beneath wasn't just technology anymore. This was an intelligence apparatus. Was this system merely extracting gold? Or was it quietly mapping the neural veins of Africa itself? After the third night, the entire observation team went dark. Radio contact ceased. No messages came through. Only one emergency ping arrived at 6 a.m. Not gold, data. With that single signal, Traoré sprang into action. A specialized task force, comprising special forces, scientists, and digital cryptography experts, was immediately deployed to the mining site. Their mission? Locate the missing team and document the underground facilities. What they discovered deep in the tunnels was no ordinary shaft. It was a hidden laboratory, dimly lit by a glowing red screen. On it, only one sentence blinked: behavioral mapping in test phase. Inside were facial recognition cameras, thermal body scanners, and EEG-like brainwave readers. But none of them were calibrated for humans. They were designed for the robots. Each robotic unit was equipped with a chip, monitoring, analyzing and predicting nearby human behavior, then relaying that data back to a central system. Traoré clenched his jaw when he saw the visuals. "These aren't miners," he said. "This is a nervous system." The system's data flow map revealed connections beyond Burkina Faso. 3 other countries appeared: Niger, Chad, and Uganda. Same system, same chips, same algorithm, but buried in the lowest folder of the archive, one more file emerged: Resistance 01. Its contents were encrypted, but the name said it all: African Psychological Resistance Map. This wasn't just mining. It was a covert simulation designed to fracture the mental and social resilience of an entire continent. When Traoré read the Resistance 01 file, he understood one thing. This wasn't just about a Chinese company anymore. This was a consortium. It involved tech corporations, energy giants, and even Western think tanks. Their goal was chillingly clear: to measure, analyze, and ultimately manipulate the psychological reflexes of African populations using artificial intelligence. But Traoré didn't report this to the UN. Instead, he summoned 5 neighboring African leaders to a secret meeting. The location: a remote airbase near the border. The agenda was singular. The next war won't be fought with bullets and bombs, but with code and cameras, and we will not walk into that war unprepared. That same night, Traoré went live on national broadcast. For the first time, he addressed the people directly. Yes, there were robots in the mine. Yes, we realized we were being watched too late, but if we stay silent now, tomorrow, they'll decide what we're allowed to think. The speech swept across the continent. In Nigeria, Guinea, and Mali, protests erupted. People were no longer fighting for gold, they were fighting for their freedom. But the Chinese company didn't back down. In fact, they issued a private warning: if you expose this operation, all investment projects in Burkina Faso will be suspended. Traoré's response was immediate and fierce. We're not asking for investment. We're demanding sovereignty. Keep your gold and take your algorithms with you. Traoré didn't flinch. He was no longer just a national leader. He had become a voice for an entire continent. And his next move would make even more noise. Under Traoré's direct order, every internal system of the robots was dismantled. Chips, sensors, and AI modules were examined one by one. Most carried the same program tag, AFR-MIN-X, but one of them stood out. It was encrypted and locked. On its interface, only a single line appeared: Phase 2, Behavioral Override Initiated. This wasn't a mining algorithm. It was psychological warfare code. And its target wasn't just the people of Burkina Faso. It was every African society. Traoré immediately ordered a full dossier for the United Nations. The file's cover read: Artificial Colonization Protocols, Africa Dataset. Simultaneously, he sent a private message to every African head of state. The new colonization doesn't come with guns. It comes with software. And we must stand united against it. Within days, presidents from Senegal, Niger, Guinea, and Mali arrived in Burkina Faso. A historic press conference followed. For the first time, the continent's leaders signed a joint declaration. All AI systems must be monitored by African regulators. All mining operations are now under national supervision, and no foreign tech entity will operate without full transparency. The international media called it the Digital Berlin Wall. In the final scene, Traoré stood before the cameras holding a chip extracted from one of the robots. He raised it to the light and said, "We found this in a mine. But it's not just a chip. It was the new chain of our age, and we've broken it." That day, millions took to the streets across Africa. Their chant echoed through every city. Africa didn't just wake up. Now we write the code.